observation. Could be right, could be wrong. But I was trying to come at you through that particular area. Because when you really get into Islam, it's quite a fascinating study because I'm more of a sympathizer.
I don't believe in anything in Islam except for the connection that I have with God.
How about the Sufis?
I don't know.
I like the Sufis because they were honest. And they were compassionate.
I sort of believe in the Hammurabis.
But getting back to my point, is there any ultimate ethical principle? Is there any ultimate good or is there any ultimate bad? I'm putting forward there are two now. What are the two, David?
Sorry, what are the two what?
What are the two ethical principles that stand like rocks? Not the bloody Ten Commandments, not the Kabbalah, not the bloody whatever. I got a joke. Okay, Moses goes up. Moses goes up on the mountain, right? Moses goes up on the mountain, and anyway, I won't tell that joke. It's a dirty joke. Everybody,
No, we don't
forget
want
that joke.
dirt
All right.
here.
So anyway, David. So
Yes,
did you hear what I said? What do you think?
I don't know.
As a Machiavellian, this man
As a Machiavellian.
I know this man personally. He lives his whole life about him being #1 on the planet. That's what he believes. But he doesn't tell anybody that because he doesn't want them to know that's the way he is. And that's fair enough because how else do you hold your power? You don't hold power by telling people things.
He's outing me.
By revealing who you are.
I am being outed by
Don't take it with me.
Keep it secret. You keep it secret, and then you do your work, and then you smile at people. It's called Machiavellianism, and that's second to power. So
Is God my rival? If so, is God my rival?
No, you don't believe in God. You just believe
What
in
can I do about him?
You just believe that, you know, everything is about you. I don't necessarily believe that. Now, I ask you the question, what are the two stalwart, rock-bottom, unmovable, ethical principles of this planet?
Cast not thy pearls before swine.
No.
Your connection with the
I'll tell you what it is. There's one will to power. Now observe it. In the army, public service, politics. I can't get up at David's and take over. That's his gig. She doesn't even like it when I try to take over her talk.
Ooh.
If you don't believe in power, submit to me. Go to anybody and say, you don't believe in power, then submit to me. Prove to me. They won't do it because why? If they don't believe in power, they do it. And the only intelligent person I met one day that comes here was that guy from the military with the hearing aids. I said, everything's will to power, and he said, no, it's not. And I said, well, we'll lose this argument. He did.
James.
He lost the argument, so he proves to me, trying to prove to me there was no will to power. I didn't push further and say, I'd like to have your house. So, nobody's going to voluntarily surrender power. Said a famous philosopher called Michael Foucault. One of the great philosophers of this century, along with Jacques Derrida. And, what?
I was reading, like, back in the Roman side, they didn't want to have this ultimate power, you know, when they take it to be like, in certain situations they take all the power on, but they didn't want that sort of...
So when they went home and their wife told them to do their laundry, they said, yes, honey. And they were totally submissive to everybody around. That's the only way you can prove it. You have to submit to everybody on the planet. But what you're doing is you're trying to overcome everybody on the planet. Cameron's not going to submit to me unless he gets something out of it. That's a form of submission. That's a form of submission. Now what she's saying is that everybody should submit to God. So God is the ultimate power. And what's power? You're all going to this higher power. If not, he'll destroy you. Now, if God gave up his power and used the other, now I mentioned one principle, one pillar of truth, that's an ultimate fact of ethical reality, will to power. What's the other one? I've got a shitty audience here. I have to come back next week for that one.
We're being like James, you're not going to answer.
The other one is compassion. They are the two opposing forces of the universe because even Stalin has a heart. And most people that are in power gain that power by repressing their heart.
Yeah, that's right.
So you've got will to power on one side, and on the other side you've got compassion. Now the people that preach compassion against the people that have power, they're all killed.
That's right.
Socrates, Jesus, Martin Luther King, Gandhi, all these people are killed. But the people that have the power are the ones that do the killing.
Yeah.
So a compassionate, loving person, the more loving and compassionate you are, the quicker you'll be knocked off.
That's right.
So if you want to survive in this shitty world, that's right, man. You've been doing it for a while, but you're going to get better. But the thing is, you've got to use the David tactic. I'm not a direct bastard. I'm friendly, but I'm working the side angle with the sword, you know? That kind of Machiavellian, you know? Yeah, stab in the back, and I'm, oh, I love you, you're very nice. Oh, what an asshole, you know? Machiavellianism, you're getting the other person down.
Can you do it without families?
Raising me up.
If you do it with
Raising me up.
you make a mistake.
Yeah, you make a mistake and then you
Flattery
get...
will get you everywhere.
But what I'm saying is that...
If
If you look at children, people always say, oh, how beautiful. They're so loving. Take a look at children. I don't want to. You know, there's one girl one time I went up to, I was in a commune, and all these kids are running around, and all the kids are actually, I'm not going to say what the commune was, but all the kids are having sex, and the grown-ups just don't care, you know? And these are all the kids having sex. But one of these girls was walking past, and this little boy was walking past, and had an apple. And there's a very borderline blonde, about 13. They were walking as a group of kids. And I said, can I have a bite of that apple? And the kid goes, no. And then the girl looked at him and said, go on, give me the apple. So now explain that interaction. Pure Machiavellian, fuck you, I don't want the apple for me. Then the girl was, what was that all about? Power? Ordering him? Seduction? What was
sex.
So what happened was...
It's all sexual.
Well, what I'm
that
saying is
is
there's no
male
sex happening, there's no sex, but this little boy
Male,
goes, nah,
female.
it's typical of a child, come and play with your toy. Nah,
Exactly.
go on, nah, no one.
That's right.
So she goes, go ahead, and she goes, oh, okay. But he wasn't happy about it, and then she walked off. She must have been the head of the group, the leader or something. So there's these kind of things going on, but underneath, there's only two principles. One is compassion. Every human being that lives has compassion. There's not one human being, even Hitler loved even Braun loved his dog, his German Shepherd. There's no human being that doesn't have compassion, and there's no human being that doesn't have a will to power. Now, how do you balance these two? I don't have the answer to that. I don't think anyone else does either. Because the most selfish thing is to be in love. That is the most selfish thing. And why do you think that is? Because you want that other person so bad. It's like, I want... You know, it's like selfish being in love. It's very selfish. All you can think of is what you're the goal, the object of your desire. That's all you want. So being in love is the most selfish.
If you want power, then that's one of the powers.
That's the power. Exactly. I agree. That's the power. You're right. But the other way, compassion doesn't discriminate. It's a deeper type of a thing. We realize we're all in it together. I realize this, man, when I've cried, I know this man's suffered, I know you've suffered, I know you've been misunderstood and abused and everything. So there's that compassion from the heart. But the problem is, anybody who lives for compassion wouldn't last 30 seconds if I try to do it. Hey, can you give me some money here? You want some more? Take my shirt, take this, whatever, take my life. That's what Jesus said, take my life.
Today has abandoned
And you know what?
compassion.
All the Christians who follow Jesus wouldn't give them the time of day that came back today.
And
You know,
that's quite true.
That's right.
I agree with that.
It wouldn't give them the time of day.
They've
You know
got
why?
no compassion.
Because none of them have the real
Gone
compassion.
out the window.
Where's the real
I
compassion?
agree with that.
You know what? Self-preservation. What's stronger? Self-preservation or compassion? In other words, if my life comes down to it, maybe, you know, who knows what you can do. In fact, there's a famous Hollywood director, who directed Jack Nicholson. Anyway, he said that human beings are capable of almost anything under the right circumstances. Now, what happened in Nazi Germany? Okay? Now here's another conflicting, here's where you conflict these things together. Let's say that in Nazi Germany they performed certain scientific experiments by killing, maiming, and torturing human beings, and came up with a solution to cancer. Is it ethical to use that system that has come about through torturing people in concentration camps? This is actually an episode on Star Trek. And it was a very interesting philosophical point, because if my wife's dying of cancer, the cure for cancer was created by the Nazis torturing babies, signing up women, pregnant women, and doing the most diabolical things.